days before Scotty had beamed up Star Trek and before the Empire had struck back, there was Doctor Who.
You're expecting someone else?
The series began in November 1963, and now 160 stories later, it's getting a new lease of life thanks to reruns on the satellite channel UK Gold and to BBC Video. But fans like Ian Fellows from Parkston near Poole not only watch the programme, they also go to conventions.
Well, once they have the stories on tape or have collected them on video, then I suppose the next logical step would be to meet the fans or the guests, or go to these places where everybody has the same one thing in mind, which is Doctor Who. That's why I go.
At the Bournemouth convention, the fans can see the various regenerations of the Time Lord, find out if the monsters are really that scary, and meet some of the actors who have been associated with the longest-running science fiction series ever.
Well, I get the satisfaction of knowing that something that I've done in the past still gives pleasure to other people. I know there are some actors who like to put the past behind them, and I'm engaged in the work I'm doing now. But there's no point in entering this job if you don't want to entertain people and give them pleasure. And what greater reflection of that than to come along and have someone say, look, I'm so fascinated by something you did 10 years ago, I want to talk about it now. It's a great privilege, really.
What's happened?
Change, my dear. And it seems not a moment too soon.
I go into Thady School one day a week to teach, and I find little children in the playground playing Exterminate. And I couldn't believe it, because they've got all the videos in the shops now, you see, but they've got nothing for them on television.
We're talking about the Daleks, the most evil creatures ever invented. You must destroy them. You must complete your mission for the Time Lords.
Help me! Help! 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 Help!
Most fans read the books, listen to the records and buy the videos. BBC Video have released 60 stories and have sold nearly 1 million copies. But if you're a real fan, the next step is to buy a prop from the show.
The costumes and larger props only began to become available towards the end of the 1980s, and originally they would cost anything between about £500 to £1,500, depending on what they were. But very quickly it became apparent that their resale value was rocketing, so that now for a BBC Dalek you'd probably be looking at paying anything between £6,000 to £9,000.
If you're supposed to be the superior race of the universe, why don't you try climbing after us?
Whichever doctor was playing the part when you started is the one that you remember and is your favourite, and then you want your children to watch it. And I think what I think is sad is that the BBC are depriving a generation of having their doctor by not having it on at the moment.
Radio 5 is going to broadcast a new story later in the year, but alas, there are no plans to bring the Doctor back to BBC One just yet. Still, a series has got to go when it's got to go, and surely better to end whilst flushed with success.
Yes, I wonder if you'll ever find the zip.